We're finally back, and one thing before I even get into, just addressing some stuff, getting back into the greatness, I do want to talk about the stream in and of itself. From what I'm seeing on my end, there may be some issues that we encounter with lag, so I'm going to need you guys to let me know how smooth the stream really is. Because to me, it doesn't seem like it's doing okay. And I don't understand. It does this sometimes, man. This is why I fucking despise this program sometimes. But it is what it is. Hopefully, we don't encounter any issues, and it's all good. But from what I'm seeing, it's not looking great. So, with that said, though, it's been... I don't even know how long it's been. I know it's been well over a month. Probably like 2 months, maybe, since the last 3-0 stream, which is crazy. I apologize for the delay. People have consistently hit me up, week after week, asking what happened to these, and it was realistically I was just dealing with a lot of stuff in real life, and just trying to balance that with the fall anime season, and it was too difficult to maintain doing these on Sundays with all of that going on. But we're back now. I'm gonna try and catch up to where Chicken and the rest of the team are at in terms of chapters right now. And shout out to the person when I made this stream last night who spared me from potential spoilers, because I was told that if I were to just go to the Translation Chicken page in its entirety, I would have been spoiled in some way. So instead, I just pulled up the index immediately, table of contents, and went from there. That way, I did not see any of the images. So I'm glad somebody said that, because I probably would have stumbled upon that and it would have been fucked up. So I'm really glad. But nevertheless, we're going to try and do at least 3 of these streams this week. Chapter 6 today. I want to say potentially Chapter 7 tomorrow, and then maybe I can get one in on Friday, Thursday or Friday. If not Sunday for sure, we're going to do another one. And we also have some time for break time this week, so I'm going to do break time tomorrow, get like the first 3 episodes in, because I've been promising that for a while, and it just never came to fruition. But I finally have a fucking break myself, so it's only fitting that we get to break time now. But bear with me as I get back into the swing of things. Like, I'm really excited to get back into the ReZero greatness, but I kind of forgot, like, even everything that happened last chapter. I remember the stuff with Petra. I remember we're about to leave for Sanctuary, which I'm really, really hyped to go to the fucking Sanctuary. I remember this talk of the fiend Garfiel, which I'm looking forward to seeing as well. Hopefully we get to the Sanctuary soon. It's not too prolonged. We see him in the next couple chapters. But with all that said, please smash that like button if you're hype. And we're gonna get back into it, back into the swing of things as far as these read-throughs are concerned. ReZero Arc 4, Chapter 6, Along the Road to the Sanctuary. Also, as always, please, show your support to Chicken and the rest of the crew over there for all the hard work and dedication they put into these translations. And we're going to get back into it, man. Tinkered on the translation for this one, The Everlasting Covenant. Chapter 6, Along the Road to the Sanctuary. My girl, Frederica. Dude, it's been too long, man. Let's go. Let's fucking go. I will not be able to accompany you, so please take care during your journey. Also, if you would, please tell the master that Frederica is watching over the estate. Ever vigilant, aren't you? It was the morning of departure, and and that's this. Yo, I completely forgot about the Bayako setup too. I still haven't even worked on that video. I need to get back into the ReZero content heavy. In the morning of departure, and the dragon carriage was parked outside the front of the mansion. Coming to see them off with these words, Frederica bent the small of her back in a bow. Her form and her bow was so beautifully refined that anyone receiving it would be intimidated into naturally straightening their backs. In any case, receiving this, Sue and Amelia met each other's gaze. I'm the one who should be sorry. I know how hectic things are right now. Rosewall is absent, and I really should be the one acting in his stead, yet... Anyway, Amelia and I are clueless when it comes to caring for the mansion. Even if I can handle routine tasks, everyone could see how much of an amateur I am when numbers are involved. I tried throwing auto into all that to sort it out, but it's like sprinkling water on hot coals. Bro, after all the work and that whole speech you guys put in, you can't just give him a little bit of a break? But this is why Subaru is still my boy, dude. That's why he's the reign supreme as best boy for this year. Looking at the results over the past 2 days, Subaru could only smile wryly at how futile their efforts had been. He and Otto wandered aimlessly through the cluttered office, and the only thing they learned was that it's impossible without any explanation from the one responsible. That one statement pretty much summed up the extent of their progress. Frederica seemed to have a rough idea, but it would take time to cover the discrepancy after months of absence. Actually, thinking of how much work was involved in just maintaining the mansion, it would have been right to increase her workload even further. Amelia had attentively taken care of some of the simple tasks, but aside from that, she had no choice but to plug her ears and rest to the rest of it, even though she knew they would start piling up. It's like that feeling when you put off doing your summer holidays homework, and then the next thing you know, it's the first day of the new semester, but I was never that kind of guy who doesn't hand in his homework, though. I feel you, my dude. You just gotta be the kind of guy that waits till the last day. Procrastination is... No, I'm just playing, but it runs my life, I will tell you that much. I don't really understand. But isn't that a good thing? Right now I feel the complete opposite, and my chest really hurts. It's not that I feel guilty, but I know it's not good to leave everything neglected like this. Amelia, you've done enough up to this point. Don't even put that burden on yourself right now. It's not actually our fault. That's how I would rationalize it, but it's hard for Miyotan, isn't it? Well, I totally understand how unpleasant it feels to just watch things go from bad to worse. It was vexing to have to neglect things that really shouldn't be put off, but while he could sympathize with Amelia's sense of guilt, it was also true that there was not much he could do to help. In the end, he was insufficient, so the only thing to do is to call someone more competent. My boy Otto, man, the ground dragons are all ready to go, even though it's only been a few days since they exerted themselves. Nasi-san's Petra looks like she's chafing at the bit to get going. Of course, dude. The whole time you've had Petra stationary, my girl likes to ride, dude. She's a good, hard-working girl, isn't she? Her previous owner must have had an impressive character, unlike her current one. You think she can guide us there? It'd be horrible to get lost on the way and end up stranded. Yo, have faith in the goddess, Subaru. I don't know what you're saying right now. After the amount of times Petra has been purely MVP. The one who broke into their conversation was the man sitting in the driver's platform in the dragon carriage, conversing with the two ground dragons, Petra and Furufu. Otto. Since the divine protection of anima whispering only applied to Otto, to a bystander, he just looked like he had a screw loose in his head while he was talking to the ground dragons. But Subaru didn't remark on it. Not noticing that Subaru was sending him a heartwarming look, Otto only responded to his question with a straightforward nodding. Frederica's directions were good, and there doesn't seem to be any problems. I'm sure we can make the trip in under half a day. Yo, it's close! I was expecting like a 3-day voyage or some shit. But I mean, I guess that speaks to the efficacy of the evacuation. Maybe we can actually get there within, or at least by next chapter. I see. But were you really planning on coming too? Of course I'm coming. After phrasing, Otto, phrasing, my boy. You set yourself up for that one. After Otto gave his seal of approval on Petrarch's direction, Subaru nodded and moved on to his next question, to which Otto stomped noisily on the wooden platform, bulging his eyes. After all, this will be my first meeting with the Margrave. Sure, I was the one who asked you to introduce me, but imagining the kind of introduction you'd give if I wasn't there is too frightening. I can't just leave it to you. I can only imagine the dynamic and banter between Roswell and Otto, though. It has to be quite interesting. Has to be quite... I mean, the man is still probably sweating a little bit low-key about being exposed to all the inner workings of Roswell's whole setup and orchestration, and yet not fully being trusted. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's all up to him. I fucking love Otto as much as I like to fuck around with him. He's a good man, truly is. Oi, I'll get all flustered if you keep trusting me so much. Yeah, though, we've only known each other for a short while. I already trust you 120%. I can be certain that Natsuki-san will always do exactly what I don't want you to do. Yo, good man, finally sees the key. Subaru twisted his lips at these words, and Amelia, who had been listening silently up till now, let out a sudden burst of laughter. The two men turned to the source of the laughter at the same time, and Amelia timidly raised up her hand. Really, you two are such good friends. Whenever I see you together, you're always bickering so affectionately. It makes me kinda jealous. Yo, Leoton, don't act like you can't get in on that level. You could be just as immature with the bands when you need to. If you want, I'll be affectionate toward Emiliaton too. Only I'll be flirting instead of bickering. I'll move Emiliaton's bickering time to Otto's time slot and replace it with the affectionate time. My void! Yo, see, this is exactly one of the things that I miss the most as far as just these initial chapters of Arc 4 is the banter, the dog, especially from my best boy, dude. Too real. Absolutely too real. If you do that, there won't be anything between us except insults and fistfights. I don't think you actually want to throw hands with the man, though, Otto. Subaru is pretty confident in his skill with words and insults, but if it comes to fighting Otto in a melee, he's not entirely sure he can come out on top. Are you serious? You're really questioning that? Otto looks pretty genteel, but Subaru knew personally how strong he was. Bro, just because he was in a craven state, you know, trying to preserve himself doesn't mean that he can tap into that power off the cuff. In a previous loop, after a harsh exchange, Otto had thrown him off a carriage. Knowing that his opponent was just a pushover, Subaru figured his chances were pretty slim if they ever ended up head-to-head. Thinking about it like that, my combat abilities are crazy low. I knew that already, but it's still depressing. Like previously mentioned, Subaru would lose to Otto, and it goes without saying that he couldn't beat Amelia, who knows magic. He had already been demolished by Frederica, and there was no need to mention the sleeping Rem or the shut-in Beatrice. Dude, Bayako, I need her back yet again after this whole sanctuary venture. In that case, the only one Subaru had a chance against in the mansion was... Come to think of it, the only one I've got a chance of beating is Petra, and I don't see her around. What gives? Dude, if you know you would never lay hands on my adorable daughter, dude. That's the thing. Wait, did Petra stay with Frederica at the mansion, or is she part of this procession? I'm scared to ask, but how did your train of thought shift to who you can beat? Anyway, Petra has been in the mansion. Oh, here she comes. Yes, dude, let's go. A bit astounded by Subaru's futile efforts to gain victory by process of elimination, Amelia looked toward the mansion, her purple eyes faintly flickering. Being affected and looking toward the same direction, he saw the form of a girl swinging her sleeves of the brand new maid's uniform as she ran up to where they stood. That's the thing too. I saw that image. Oh my god, it's pure love, absolutely pure love. Wait a minute, Subaru-sama. You don't need to rush. I wouldn't do something so heartless as leaving all of a sudden. Only Otto would do something like that. Right, Otto? Don't you remember what you just said 3 seconds ago? Smiling at the out-of-breath girl who was resting her hands on her knees, Subaru pulled Otto into the conversation with some light-hearted teasing as he waited for the girl to catch her breath. Then wiping her brow softly, Petra looked up. Her flushed cheeks and her big round eyes looked adorable. She let out a long breath, releasing her fatigue, and shifted her angelic face into a smile. I wanted to give you this before you leave. Please take it with you. With that, she held out her hand, revealing a simple handkerchief that seemed nothing out of the ordinary. The edges of the white cloth were laced with golden color, and the tips of his fingers told him it was made with meticulous workmanship. Receiving it, he turned it over to look at the other side. It's embroidered. Oh, it's really good. Sewn into the surface of the white cloth was an embroidery that was most likely hand-stitched by Petra herself. Dude, you better cherish that shit, my son. It was done with gray, pink, and black color threads, and the design was something Subaru was very well acquainted with. Just then, Amelia, who had been peeking over his shoulder, let out a small laugh. It's the same puck you drew, Subaru. Oh wow, it's really well done. Yo, I want to see that shit, man. My disfigured puck. Yeah, this is really well done. There mustn't have been much time to study it either. I got the stamps right after doing... after doing the radio calisthenics every morning. Forgetting to speak politely, Petra pulled something out from around her neck. It was a stamp card Subaru had made and given out to the village children. Every morning when they participated in radio calisthenics, he had stamped their cards with an image he'd engraved onto a sweet potato, in place of a real stamp. She held in her hand the most recent stamp, the disfigured Puck's Gloomy Monday. She must have worked hard, pricking her fingers as she sewed the sign. It really is well done. As a sewing master, I can't afford to lose here. Will you take it? Ah, no. Would you please take it? It's actually, would you please accept this? Of course I'll gladly accept it. It seems a shame to use it for wiping blood, sweat, or tears. So I'll just keep it as a good luck charm. Exactly. That's realistically exactly what I want you to do with it, man. Carefully folding the handkerchief, Subaru tenderly with great care put it into his chest pocket before looking back towards Petra. Then, as gently as he could, he looked to the vicious narrowed eyes and the sharpened fangs filling up the diabolical smile that was currently pointed at Petra. Hearing his words, Petra placed both her hands on her blushing face and looked away. I shall await your safe return. Oh, and Big Sister and the noisy guy. Yo! I'm sorry, man. Otto can't catch a break, man. Really can't. Really can't. And I'm just taking a second to glance at the chat. What Mitro's saying is 100% valid. So listen to the man. Listen to the man, because he's only saying exactly what I've said in the past and echoing that. So I'm not fucking playing games, and it goes for any stream that is done in this fashion where you can actually see the chat. I'm just saying. It kind of seems like I'm just an extra. Damn, dude. Damn. Wait, wasn't my assessment a little too harsh? No, Otto. It was just right, my dude. Unfortunately, you're just gonna remain at this level. Emilia and Otto responded to Petra's words in turn, a wry smile making its way onto their faces. Subaru couldn't help but find himself smiling as Petra seemed to think nothing of the dense pressure emanating from Frederica behind her. Dude, the innocence overpowers that. That's the thing. He had no doubt that the moment they leave, Petra will be set upon Frederica's harsh education. Petra lives strong. Dude, that's the thing, though. Especially after that image I saw from Lionel. I was like, I think that's the perfect influence for my daughter, man. That's the perfect influence for her. So I'm not a traitor, Caster. I've been said this many times. Like, I don't care what the fuck you guys do in the Hangout streams where the chat's not on screen. You can do whatever you want because that is not there for posterity. When we're doing, and especially something that I take as seriously as these streams, like, these streams mean a lot to me. So you can still have fun and clown or whatever you want to do, but there's a limit, you know. Have some boundaries. Be a little bit more mature. That's all I ask. Dude, I still, they better cut away to this at some point, just briefly. Although I don't think Toppa would want to expend time on that, at least inherently, especially since the impact of seeing her after the fact would be just as brilliant. Well then, while it's hard to leave you all, we should be on our way. If we spend too much time talking here, it would have been meaningless to try to leave so early. Subaru interjected, putting an end to the vibrant conversation before hopping up into the cargo space of the dragon carriage. After that, he held out his hand. If you would, Emiliaton, into my arms. I'm sure it would be pleasant to see the scenery from the driver's platform once in a while. Heartless Ia Emiliaton Major Kokomo. Yo, this man, dude. This man. You know, honestly, I can't believe it's been this long since I've experienced this. Like, it just doesn't feel like, I feel like my life was incomplete until I returned to the greatness, man. My boy Subaru, dude. Being treated so cruelly, Subaru was almost about to withdraw his hand when it was pulled so forcefully that he nearly fell out of the carriage as Emilia passed casually beside him. Her silver hair brushed against his nose as she went by, until she landed inside the dragon carriage with a tiny sound. Softly sitting down across from Subaru, she tilted her head looking at him. Something wrong? No, nothing. With these words, Subaru loudly stomped his way over to where she was and plunked himself down beside her. Dude, I'm ready for another ride, side by side, dude. That hashtag bars. Gotta get on my boy Shady's level with the bars, dude. Considering the inside of the carriage was very spacious, Emilia smiled at Subaru's cramped use of it. I mean, don't act like you don't like it. Like, you know damn well that there's no other way you'd have it. That's the thing too. Was it chapter 4? Or no, maybe it was. I think it was chapter 4. After that conversation though, the ship is just transcending to new and greater heights. Otto, watching their exchange, grumbled, "I can't stand being associated with you," as he sat down in the driver's seat, gripping the reins and looking up at the road ahead. "All right then, we're off. Take care not to bite off your tongues, please. Right back at you. Don't shake the carriage too much. And if you're going to suddenly apply the brakes, please use the signal we talked about before. Without that, it'll be hard for me to time when to push Amelia down. My boy! No, fuck the signal, dude. Just any slight bump or deviation of the path. That's all that I care about. You're thinking of something like that? I never heard that devilish plot in my life. Bro, wait, when did I get turned into an accomplice? You've always been, dude. You've always been the main accomplice to Subaru's plot. Let me get turned. That's the thing. If Yuli's not here, Otto is the main accomplice at all turns. Emiya turned a gaze of near disdain upon Subaru and Otto, and didn't seem to acknowledge Otto's outcry at the false accusation. Thinking Otto's wailing at the injustice of it all suited himself well, as though that had nothing to do with him, Subaru lifted up his hand. "All right, destination Sanctuary. Let's be off." "Who are you to say that?" Seeing Otto sulking in the driver's seat, Subaru replied, "You aren't good enough at getting hyped, are you?" Damn, shots fired. Son, I mean, that's actually, yo, you see this Subaru line right here? Remember that always. That's gonna be my tagline from now on, because anybody that calls me out ever again saying I'm overhyping something, it's my response right there. You're just not good enough at getting hype, are you? Complaining before sticking his head out the window to look at the two who were here see to them. Yeah, the two who were here see to them off. Yeah. Only I found this whole time. Okay, now we're leaving the place in your care. Also, I'm counting on you to take good care of Rem. Please, leave it to me. In return, I leave Emilia-sama and the master in your hands. Take care and come back safe. Subaru's voice held none of its usual playfulness, and as they prepared to depart, Frederica and Petra bowed in farewell. After that stupidly formal exchange, this time, Subaru decisively, well, unfortunately not without some hesitation, severed his thoughts from the mansion. Oi, we haven't left yet, Otto. You're slow. I can't understand this treatment. Bro, it's only a matter of time before the man just completely breaks down. Completely and utterly breaks down. This exchange blowing away the rest of the tension, they set off for the sanctuary, and thus the journey began. Wait, oh, good shit. Okay, this will probably be the extent of it. This is exactly what I would like to see, though, to be honest. It seems I'm going to have to teach you to speak more politely and bow properly again. I'm so sorry, it's just, I wanted to be considerate, if only a little. Petra quickly lowered her head, her gesture nearly perfectly imitating Frederica's teaching. She was a fast learner and could take things in quickly, and was certainly a student worth teaching. They exchanged for a moment of, that's the thing, dude. Petra is too much love. I'm so happy about these developments. Still can't get over it. The exchange from a moment ago was understandable given her age, so there was no reason to scold her over such a minor thing. I know that you have been close to Subaru-sama and Emilia-sama these past few days. Still, it is not good to forget that your relationship is that of servant and employer. Yes, ma'am. I'm deeply sorry. The girl was conscious of the fact that her behavior had been selfish. She could have behaved exactly as she had been taught and seen Subaru and the rest off properly, but she had instead intentionally separated herself from her duties as a servant, and chose to see Subaru and the others off as just a simple girl. Dude, so much love. Too adorable, man. There must have been a reason for it, and perhaps the reason was small, but it was one she was unable to part with. Dude, that goes back to her affection for it, man. That's the thing. I'm really curious about Petra's character late game. There's no propriety in discussing this further. Instead, as penance for what you did, you will be hand-copying extra text this afternoon. Will the number of topics increase? You should have been prepared for at least that much. Then again, if you had already calculated this would be your punishment to make up for your actions, then I'm quite looking forward to your future as my student. Saying that, Frederica clapped her hands with a, now then, continuing. Even if Amelia-sama and the rest are out for now, Beatrice-sama is still in the mansion. We can't afford to become lax with meals and cleaning. If we don't finish quickly, there won't be enough time for studies. So Petra, hurry up and finish your tasks. Yes, ma'am, I'll go finish them in no time. Watching the young girl run off, her clothes flapping, Frederica's mouth softened ever so slightly, revealing her fangs. With a practiced motion, she covered the smile with her hand. Dude, that's one of my favorite points of habit. And involuntary reactions out of this entire series, to be honest. And looked towards the direction where the no longer visible dragon carriage had gone, towards Amelia and the rest who had departed from the mansion. It is as you said it would be, Master. Whether they can overcome the sanctuary or not, it is up to Amelia-sama and Subaru-sama now. That line, though. Yo. Which very well means there's some serious trials to come once we get over there. Interesting. Closing her eyes, she let the gentle wind wash over her. Will Amelia-sama be able to overcome it? Bound with the witch's blood, that inescapable impasse that is the Garden of Wait! Okay, alright. Instantly, I should come to expect this by now, dude. That subtle bit, that last tagline, to build the hype just a little bit. Dude, and this image I love so much. Entire long chapter. I'm trying to put to it tomorrow. Bro, it's been so long. It's been way too long. Never again. Hopefully we never have to take this long of a break from reading a web novel again. Alright, I think I'm going to do 1.5, and then we'll take like a brief intermission between 1.5 and 2. And then I can kind of chill with the chat and whatnot. Okay. So Puck hasn't shown his face yet after all. Of course not. If he had, I'd have been seen him. Your ears. Don't complain. You guys need to, I feel like you guys should just know. If you're gonna watch a video of mine, just set your volume slightly lower. Don't use headphones or something. One of the two, because your ears will always be accosted. And it's not my fault. I hereby make this statement right now that if you watch videos on my channel, I'm not responsible to any damage to your eardrums, future tinnitus, or anything of the sort. That's all on you. No, he hasn't. I do call out to him, and I still feel his existence inside the crystal, but this is the first time he has gone missing for this long, so I'm kind of worried, dude. He has his own agenda right now, though. In the smoothly galloping dragon carriage, sitting together, only Subaru and Amelia's voices resounded in the car. Under the divine protection of wind evasion, the sound of the wind and all the noises outside were almost completely cut off from the dragon carriage. Even while running with such great speed, the near absence of turbulence or sound all made it feel like being in something of a dream. Perhaps this was the same luxurious feeling that might be felt while riding in the premium seats of the Shinkansen bullet trains, but Subaru never had a chance to experience those seats, and not even the normal seats for that matter. Anyway, in the quiet interior of the carriage, the words exchanged between them can be heard crisp and clear, and here the topic of their conversation drifted to the change that had been bothering them for the past few days, namely, the absence of the one that was usually by Amelia's side, that father figure cat who was always thwarting Subaru's advances on Amelia. But dude, that's the best tagline description. Like, honestly, can we just make like a long episode for Pug that's just that? The father figure cat who is always thwarting Subaru's advances. That's perfection, man. It's absolute perfection. Now that I think about it, he had not shown up since before we returned to the mansion. The last time we saw him was, for me, it was in the capital city when we were in Kurosama's mansion. I thought everything was very normal, but I couldn't meet him again after that morning. Even when I called him, yo, she doesn't know about the conversation. Dude, I wonder how she'd react if she does, in fact, if he tells her about that now. Even though I know that's not the reason for his absence. Damn well, Puck has his own agenda, but even when I call him, he doesn't show up. I was worried if I had made him angry or something. Looking down, Emilia played with the tips of her hair, trying not to show her face to Subaru. These few days, her silver hair had been fixed in a braid. Seeing Subaru stare at her, as if understanding the intention behind his gaze, she nodded, yes. The final contract I made with Puck the last time I saw him was keeping my hair in a braid. After that, I had not been told what to do, so I kept it as it is. Your hairstyle is your contract with Puck? Really? That's really light, isn't it? Although it's said that hair is the life of a woman, so that's as if Puck's contract is holding a life. Bro, I mean, I think that's a perfect thing for him to be in control over. I don't think he'd want much more of that because of his genuine affection towards her, but that even that subtle detail just really shows you how much weight is placed on the terms and conditions of the contract, though. I think it's a really light price to pay. I don't know this until I got out of the force, but for getting into a contract with a spirit like Puck, conditions like this one are way too... Exactly! Rosal was also very surprised. In reality, you apparently needed to have a humongous amount of mana or complicated terms. Seeing Emilia loosening the corners of her lips as she said this, Subaru nodded as if thinking of something, but then he quickly lifted up his jaw to shake Emilia off of her weakened smile. Well, for restricting even a little bit of Emilia-tan's time, for me, I would say that it is really a heavy price. I disagree heavily with that. Because it really doesn't take too much. I mean, I guess the braiding, but... lines like that, if you keep saying it so lightly, it would become superficial. If it was something important, then it would be better to keep them for important timings, I think. Emilia voiced her objections at how Subaru was finding more and more ways to flirt. On the other end, Subaru slightly raised both his hands and shook his head, dude. That's the thing, though. If it... You know, I'm not even... Because it's just reiterating the same point. There's... For the very fact that Emilia retorts in these ways, it really showcases her mentality and her thought process when it comes to Subaru in general. The secret lines reserved to tell Emilia-tan in important scenes are kept separately. This was one, dude, slight, ever so slight fourth wall break. This one was for daily life. One of the many lighter things to say to Emilia-tan. The man's got a fucking book of plays to go in, dude. That's what I like to see. That's exactly how I like to see this go down. Really, Subaru, you have a silver tongue. Oh no, maybe my face is red, so don't look. Exactly. See, those are the reactions I live for from her. Seeing Emilia suddenly hold up her palms to cover her face, Subaru laughed, confirming he got what he wanted. And trying to bring the conversation back on topic, he continued with, well, since Puck is absent, there are some serious concerns to the combat aspect of this trip. We can't rely on Otto for fighting, and I'm obviously no good at all. And Emilia-tan is also not as tough without Puck, right? Dude, it's not like she's completely relying on... Yeah, of course, he's a secret weapon in her arsenal, but she can still do a little something. It really just depends on who you confront. If it's fodder, it's a wrap. You say things like that, huh? But I'll have you know I can still use magic when Puck's not here. It's not just Puck. I have contracts with microspirits too. I have no problem communicating with them so I can fight. I'll protect you no matter what happens. And also, I always assumed that she had contracts with lesser spirits, just by seeing the various scenes where she would commune. But it's nice to have that outward confirmation. Even still, even without that, I think she would go in just the same. Oh no, so manly. That'll mean I'm way too pathetic, aren't I? Those words, I myself will eventually say them to Emilia-tan one day. So please wait. Oh my boy. I'll be waiting without any expectations. Damn. As if proving Emilia's words, coming nearer and gathering closer onto Emilia's fingertips, the microspirits appeared drifting, shining, while they looked like Julius's demi-spirits. So microspirits are separate, are even lower. Interesting. I don't know how they characterize that in terms of the original Japanese, though. Because demi-spirits are in general lesser spirits, but I guess that distinction is definitely going to come into play too. Interesting. Definitely, their existences seemed weaker in comparison, and though their power is a world away from Puck's, at least they certainly didn't appear to be a collection of defenseless beings. The only girl in the group, and the one he has a crush on no less, having to rely on her for protection would really be embarrassing. That said, my reliance on the other people hasn't changed much since the battle with the white whale. I was completely dependent on Rem then, and even before that. Wait, was there never a time when I worked everything out on my own? Of course, that was a story from his perspective, and it might have been too much of an underevaluation. No, it definitely is too much of an underevaluation. There's actually no other way around that. But in any case, since there was no one with enough information to find fault with his conclusion, Subaru's horrified reaction upon realizing all this was just passed off. Well, sanctuary, huh? Actually, what kind of place could it be? After a bit of self-reflection, he gazed out at the scenery outside through a little window, muttering this under his breath. Right now, to Subaru, the sanctuary was a place of absolute unknown. The sound of the name itself did not give off a very dangerous impression. But Frederica's warnings as she spoke of the sanctuary weighed heavily in his mind. Out of those words, beware of Garfield. Dude, I'm telling you, Garfield better be a fucking boss. I'm telling you, like, Garfield, it really depends on if he's like, if he has fiendish tendencies, or he's just straight young lord status, or a combination of the two. But continuously seeing this name hyped up without a meeting, it needs to live up to my expectations right now. You hadn't met him yet either, right, Subaru? And that's the thing, if Frederica's telling him to be wary, you know he has to. There has to be something there for sure. You hadn't met him yet either, right, Subaru? I've only heard the name too, and Frederica didn't tell me in detail either. As if following Subaru's mutterings, Amelia's neat eyebrows narrowed anxiously as well. The scene that emerged in her mind was probably the same as the one in Subaru's. The scene of Frederica's warning to be wary of the man named Garfield, but refusing to say any more. Even when Subaru voiced his dissatisfaction at the tiny amount of information he had been given, she only stubbornly rejected, saying, "It's because of my oath. I would not say another word." Amelia and Subaru, not knowing what to do, did not push her further. Dude, why is anybody calling me during this? Hold up. Wait, now it should be. I was saying, if there's one thing I really, really hate, is people calling me or texting me in the middle of a stream, especially when it's something like Tokyo Ghoul, ReZero, and anything of that nature where you know I'm really into the stream. If anybody calls me, I'm low key really salty with that person for a little while. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember where I was on here. Let me see. When Super's voice said a tiny amount of information he had been given. Okay, it was right here. Okay, even when Super's voiced his dissatisfaction on a tiny amount of information he had been given, she only stubbornly rejected, saying, "It's because I already read that. I really should have gotten more out of her. Knowing full well he's a dangerous character, she's sending us there with only a name. It's just too much. It can't be helped. It's an oath. Agreements are holy and inviolable, never to be breached. Contracts and oaths and pacts, though they vary in gravity, must all be kept equally." Dude, I don't even think the italicization is necessary to put weight on that statement, because just simply coming from Amelia and knowing what we know already, so many, all of these things that I keep coming across within this chapter alone is reminding me why I love this series to the extent that I do, and why I think Tabe is just brilliant. Swinging her raised finger, Amelia recited this to Subaru as if instructing him. Contracts and oaths and pacts, like a word game, they flew into his ears, and the question suddenly coming into his mind, he let it slip from his lips. I need this intermission, man. So between Ameaton and Puck is a contract. Between Frederica and Rosewall is an oath. I have moral obligation, and then the agreement exchange between the dragon and the kingdom is a pact. Am I right? Or did I get something wrong? It isn't separated out so distinctly, but as I understand it, contracts are between individuals. Oaths are made when one party swears to another. Pacts are agreements that transcend individuals, transcend even time. That's how I was taught, at least. See, the distinction between contracts and oaths is actually, in fact, the correct distinction in terms of just semantics. But as far as a pact, that's wholly inherent to this world because there's no real. I think pacts in general, in real life anyway, have less weight than a contract. But I like the deviation between that, especially since if they're gonna put that back on the dragon, that's real. That's definitely real. I see. It does fit that understanding of it. 9 to Emil's explanation, Super proceeded to violently scratch his head and continued with, but still, it's adorned with such lofty words, though. Agreements are holy and inviolable, right? Agreements. Promises are important things, of course. Oaths and even contracts have no force to protect them. It isn't there, but still, we keep promises. We work hard to keep them, right? Even if no one is watching, or no one realizes it, promises are kept, whether it's the other person or myself. We do our best. That's slightly naive, Amelia. There's definitely more ramifications at stake for half of all three of these constructions that exist in this world than you're giving credit, because not everybody is as genuine and pure as you. We would do our best to keep it. Holding her hands to her chest, Amelia locked her gaze on Subaru, who had asked the question so lightly. The tone of her voice was gentle, and there was no sense of blaming him, but his heart hurt all the more because of it. Yo, that fucking shot of the text of the dragon, that's real. I like that. Alright, so brief intermission. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, come back, check on the chat, and then we'll get back into the final part of this chapter. And just as I feared, I mean, I guess since nobody said anything, quality of the stream hasn't been too bad as far as lag or anything, but on my end it looks poor as fuck. So I don't know what's going on there. I was also just like chilling. I look at this shirt and I'm just kind of, I feel like it should be flipped, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys can see it, but I feel like it should be flipped because like it has Rem on the bottom. I want Rem on the top. But it is what it is. I just gotta get a dedicated Rem shirt is all. See what's going on with this chat. I caught a tongue twister during the pause. Oh, yo, if you guys got that running, that would have been nice. That would have been perfect, Kaito. Comes from rather modern house and doors. Whoa, 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 whoa. Fuck Garfield. I'm not sure how to take that statement. Really not. I that's the thing. I don't really want to I'm not gonna put too much stock into that either. I just gotta, we'll see what happens. Well, yeah, if it was the case, you know what I'm saying, either honestly, if I was and unless, you know, we're gonna try and keep the stream somewhat, you know, for general eyes, but if I was tag teaming Rem and Ram positions, I'd be experimenting all the way through. So especially since I think Ram low-key would have a little bit of some S tendencies, you know what I'm saying? So I'd have to kind of mitigate that and force her away from that side of things. So that's even more reason for me to put her at the bottom. Well, anyway, let's get into this second part. Finish this chapter off. We could discuss logistics for the rest of the streams coming up this week. I'm hoping we actually make it to the sanctuary, like next chapter or the chapter after, and see Garfield. That'll be hype. I'll be really excited for that. All right, let's go. Because we believe this, we give our word and work hard to fulfill them. Because promises are kept to protect the trust between one another, right? About that, I'm really sorry. In the interior of the carriage, without the slightest hint of turbulence, Subaru fell onto the floor and dropped his head straight in front of him. Seeing him rubbing his forehead on the floor in full dogaza, for a moment, Amiya flapped her eyelids in astonishment. Wait. Then a few seconds later, reflecting on what she just said, combined with Subaru's current movements, she seemed to understand. I don't think anybody actually needs an explanation of what dogaza is, but props for putting it in there. I wasn't blaming you or anything. Well, it is true that you don't keep your promise, and then didn't even apologize, and instead turned on me. So it's true that I had gone like, what's this? Ow, 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 my ears hurt. But then, after thinking about it, I realized it was being unfair. I was only seeing my side of things. I should have gone to reconcile with Subaru right after, but I was so obstinate that I didn't. So it is also my fault. Really sorry. Ow, 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 my chest hurts. Agreements and things like that. Maybe they are deeper and heavier for me, because I am a spirit arts user. Contracts are more vital. Dude, this is like the amount of moments Tape takes to stress this tells me that it's going to come to a head in a very crucial way at some point. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Are more vital to me than to the normal people. Spirit arts users must honor our contracts with spirits above all else. And that's why I'm oversensitive when it comes to this. Yeah, so promises are a really big deal for me. And I think about it, Subaru, reflect on what you did. Ah, my heart hurts, bro. These straight daggers to my boy's chest right now. While she was blurting all this out, as if remembering everything Subaru put her through, Amiya started to pout. Sensing this, Subaru pressed his head down even harder. It was clear now why she was so infuriated with him in the royal palace. It was not just anger due to a broken promise. For her, the promise in itself meant something far more and far heavier. When Subaru had broken it so lightly, even a soft-hearted person such as herself could not stay calm. Because, without realizing, Subaru trampled on something very important in Amelia's heart. Do you reflect on your actions now? I repent! Deeper than the oceans, higher than the mountains, wider than the skies, and more expansive than the cosmos. Alright, I forgive you. Softly poking Subaru in the forehead as he looked up, Amiya then touched her finger to her lips, smiling lightly. What a fucking angel, dude. I love her so much. Relieved that there was no hint of anger from her, and also because her next movement was so adorable, Subaru found himself unable to connect his words. Not paying any mind to the way Subaru was moving his mouth like a breathing fish, Amelia turned to look at the road ahead, and the sanctuary, and Garfiel, and Rosewall, and everyone from the village. There's so many people to talk to. Right now, my heart is already pounding. Don't worry. I would never let Amelia-tan be put in danger. Please trust your second shield. Myself. You're the second? Then who's the first? Right now, he's driving the dragon carriage and flirting with my... Subaru, man, that's the thing. I could see it easily. Like, imagine if people were firing shots at Subaru. You know damn well he'd use Otto as a human shield without a second's hesitation. Looking at Subaru, who had just named Otto as a meat shield without his consent. This time, Amelia couldn't hold it in but burst out loud. Dude, even if... Yo, I feel her, though. Even I. I can't help it. And that's the thing, too. Imagine if Otto really was flirting with Petra. I don't know if that would sit well with me, just because Petra's too good for my boy. I'm sorry. Too much love for Otto. Watching her breaking out in laughter, Subaru was content, and in his mind, he wondered how many obstacles would be waiting for them in the road ahead. Dude, that's the thing. I absolutely love just... See, that's a heavy statement, Berserker. But see, I can't really mirror this chat, but if it's really... If all I can say, and you guys know who you are, if you're part of the reason that the chat is being diminished, and you really can't actually engage in a chat without resorting to the same antics, that's a little disconcerting. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Ever since he came to this world, he had been presented with one problem after another without a moment's rest. Even along the road to the sanctuary, worries and expectations of what lies in store in the end. Oh, that was what I was gonna say too, until I got distracted. But I love the discrepancy, and the juxtaposition of Subaru in general, and it's always been like this, but I love seeing it play out in such minute and different and undeviating ways, where he'll completely try and change the mood of a scenario, only to lighten the hearts and moods of others, and then once he's accomplished that goal, internalize all the problems and the weight of the situation, which is amazing to see. But anyhow, Frederica herself had instigated it, and Rosewall, the fact that the other villagers had not returned only added to his doubts. And there was Subaru's own inability to get Puck to come out, and what he left in the mansion worried him to no end. Were you thinking about Remsan? You can tell. Subaru had suddenly fell silent, gazing at the side of his face. Dude, I managed to go, a good amount of this stream without having to really dwell on this. I don't want to get put in that mindset right now, so we're just gonna fly through this right now. Mia tilted her head. Her silver hair slid off her shoulder as she did so, and lifting the tip of her braid with her fingers and swinging it side to side, she said, I can, and just like the way you always look at me, I think about Subaru the same way too, bro. So that means, Amelia-tan, you're thinking about me all the time. Oh, actually, take it as half of that. Damn, no, the initial statement was fact, although she has so much on her mind, but initial statement is fact. That means 3 hours, yo! See, the man did the math on that, too. Half of... I'll get hurt if I hear the exact number, so no more. Calling out to stop Amelia, who had been trying to calculate the exact realistic number, Subaru dropped a small sigh and scratched his cheek, and I've entrusted her to Frederica and Petra, so there's no need to worry. There shouldn't be, but still, this anxiety that should be welling up in me, I can't explain it. That shouldn't be welling up in me. I can't explain it in words. You worry because you are worried. It can't be helped. It just means that's how important she is to you. To be thought about like that, I'm actually a little bit jealous. Honestly, while I love this last line about the jealousy, I really like the first part of this statement. You worry because you are worried. Like, it seems so matter of fact. It seems like, what's the weight in that statement? But no, it's actually a pretty deep statement when you really think about it. Let me say this right now. I feel just as strongly about Amelia-tan. Wait, you tricked me into saying that, right? Yes, I was being mean. Sorry. Sticking her tongue through that one act, she forgave it all. In front of Subaru, who couldn't help but make gargle sounds with his throat, Amelia said, but looking up at him, the one you're even more worried about is Beatrice, right, dude? I'm glad she could see through to the worry about. See, that's what I had in my mind since the beginning of this stream, though. Which I still, like, out of the whole entire time that I've been away, aside from just having general anxiety about getting to the sanctuary, I've been thinking about Bayako, because the subtle revelations there, dude, I still can't get over it. Unless Amelia-tan, our hearts are connected to each other. The good end is already in sight. Just by saying that, you know how elusive an actual good end is for you right now, Subaru. Usually you go, there's no way I'm worried, even though you are. But today, you'd even say that. It must mean you are really worried. Being hit right on the mark, Subaru almost let out a goo and bit his lips with a vexed expression on his face. But he quickly snapped out of it and, worried? I'm not worried or anything. It's just breaking off with a fight like that. I couldn't meet with her again afterwards, so leaving the mansion without seeing her again left me with a bit of a bad feeling, that's all. Yeah, just a little bit. Just that tiny bit. Just the phrasing, Subaru. Just the tip. What did you what really went down in the Forbidden Library the last time you were there, my boy? Just the tip. My lord. Couple phrasing issues in this chapter, I'll tell you that right now. That's it. Even Amelia calls him out on it. That sounded a bit dirty to me. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Dude, I can't believe she actually called him out on that. That's brilliant. That's absolutely amazing. I'm thinking too much into it. You're not imagining it. That was just me. I think he's happy just at getting the reaction he was aiming for. My son, yo, this is. Oh. If ever that's the thing. There's never been a day that's gone by that I didn't think Subaru was my best boy of the year. But if ever I doubted it, it's moments like these, man. Subaru looked at Amelia, who tilted her head, still smiling slowly as if you're not understanding a thing. And if Bayako's hikikomori problem gets worse, being originally a hikikomori myself, I'd feel some kind of responsibility. Hikikomori? Subaru, you know a lot about that, right? Beatrice, is she coming out? Phrasing again. It'd be really hard, actually, without finding a good opportunity. Just pulling her out forcefully isn't good. But then taking too much time would be indulging her too much. Those hikikomori are such a pain in the ass. Wait, I was one myself. No, that's fine, though. That's absolutely fine to feel that way, Subaru, because that's how any should. Like, even when I was like full escape neat lifestyle, really not leaving my house much, I still felt that way. So it is what it is. So, and there's an inherent sense of self-loathing in that lifestyle, no matter what. After that stupid ending, he tried to correct the direction of the conversation again. After all, since they were heading to the sanctuary right now, it wouldn't be something they'll deal with until they return. After I get back, I'll have to talk over a lot of things with Bayako. Last time, I couldn't get her to tell me any of the things I wanted to know. Beatrice and Puck, it feels like they know all sorts of things, and are hiding them from us. You think? I get the same feeling, even with Frederica, but then I'm glad he picked up on that, though, because it's much hard. I think as far as Frederica is concerned, it's much more elusive, but that just shows Subaru's awareness when it comes to actual people versus, I mean, even situational awareness. I think he's quite keen. I'm associated with that mansion has a habit of saying something suggestive and then leaving the answers out for later. It's like a disease already. Not the good kind of disease either. And that Bayako returning the gospel like that, saying things like I still can't get out of my mind. The gospel which Beatrice had thrown back at him along with her mystifying words is currently safely in Subaru's I'm sorry, realist. I don't understand what you expect from this stream. It's literally all I have to say. Gospel which Beatrice had thrown back at him along with her mystifying words is currently safely in Subaru's keeping. It was just going to be a nuisance. He could have left it behind, but in the worst case, he can interrogate Roswell about it. so he brought it along with him. I mean, that's the thing. Even without that, even if that wasn't your intention, I don't think it would have been apt to leave it behind, either. Nor would he have, no matter what. But because it was so creepy, he kept it at the very bottom of his bag, as if quietly hiding it from sight. I think we've entered the forest. Amelia, suddenly lifting her face and brushing away the hair from her forehead, said this as she looked all around. Following her, Subaru also raised his head, but from inside the carriage, he could not see it right away. Stepping toward the window and peeking out, it's true that the colors outside had become deepened with green. You didn't even look outside, but you could tell, huh? Even though it's mixed, it's because I have elves' blood in me. They say that elves are the race of the forests, and so the elves and the forest have an inseparable bond. I love that construction. I mean, it seems par for the course, but still, it's just small statements like that I love to see, especially with the general construction. That's the thing. That's one portion of Amelia's character that I've thought about heavily, and yet there's still so much to be built up around it and her past that I want to see it laid bare. Then, just as Amelia said this with a fleeting smile, a sudden subtle sensation shocked Subaru's skin, and he looked around to see what it was. But of course, the impact that surged through the surroundings was not something his eyes could see. Inside the carriage, the divine protection of wind evasion still separated out the rest of the world. But hey! Amelia's slender body was swaying powerlessly, and just like that, began to fall. And Subaru, sliding in, managed to catch her just in time. What the fuck? Her momentum stopped by his embrace, lying feebly in his arms. Amelia's eyes were closed. On her face was a pained expression as to say, "What the Hold on. Wait, Amelia, what happened? Amelia! Amelia couldn't seem to reply. She looked as if she was in pain. But other than that, her shallow, accelerated breathing... Yo, I swear to God, if some fiends are encroaching right now... No, it can't be. No. That's the thing. There's nobody that I've seen that would have this... Actually, that's not true. Bro! In her excruciating condition, there was no sign of fever or even sweating. Lifting up her up lightly in his arms, Subaru immediately realized that he could not deal with this by himself. So rushing to the front, he stuck his head through the small window connected to the driver's platform and... Otto! Something's wrong! Amelia suddenly collapsed. Do you have any medicine or... Oh, Natsuki-san. Sorry. Subaru's impatient words trailed off. Otto, at whom he had thrown these words, had sweat forming on his forehead. Turning to Subaru, he replied with a voice that seemed to have lost all strength. Dude, so this is about... How is he... No, but that would mean... Can't be. It can't be authority. I swear to God. Subaru noticed two things. The first was that the carriage had stopped. Petra and Furufu had halted their steps and were standing still between the trees. So overwhelming was his emotion in this previous moments that he had not even realized that the carriage had stopped. But now, there was another, even more serious problem. That was the second thing he noticed. Just waltzing in straight from the front. You got some nerves, stranger. Who the fuck? And the very fact that it's question mark, I want to say that it can't be anyone we've seen before, else they just... Well, would they? I don't know if they'd actually even put the name. Tell me I'm seeing the man here for the first time. I thought we'd have to wait till we got to the sanctuary, though. As if spitting out the words, unlike the little content of what he was saying, the little content of what he was saying, there was not the slightest hint of friendliness in the way he said it. With only this one sentence, one could almost grasp the character of the person who spoke those words. Absent of friendliness. Interesting. Alright, so it's most definitely Garfiel, but I just need to... I kind of want to do a voice for the man, but I don't know what he's like outside of that one sentence. And I could be wrong, it could not be him, so we'll wait on that. True to that impression, the man flaunting himself in front of the dragon carriage looked exactly what he sounded like. With spiky short blonde hair, a white scar prominent on his forehead, the sharp leer of his eyes did not lose to Subaru's in his viciousness. And like that of a feline beast, the canine teeth in his jaws peered out, exceedingly white. His curling, slouching back made him seem rather short for a man, but the darkly ferocious aura emanating from his entire body... Dude, why does that construction of his visit? If this is in fact Garfield, is there actually like some sort of relation with Frederica? Because why does that construction seem so familiar? His killing slash man is rather short for man, but the darkly ferocious aura emanating from his entire body removed any inclination to underestimate him for his small stature. Don't know where the hell it came from, but looked like a stake goes through you with a brittle point kind of guy. Huh? What? Hearing a strange idiom he had never heard before, Sironi let out a confused moan, but his opponent listening must have taken it for fear, and with a dismissing laugh, "Oh, scared, eh? But's true, struck some bad luck. After all, place you tried to stay." Dude, I can't not read this without some weird country accent, which is not entirely what I wanted. There has to be a way to inflect in a way that would speak to. I need to see what he looks like. That's really what it is. Tell me there's actual official art of the character already then, if it is in fact Garfiel. It's a place, and what's more, it ran right into me. The man, I already see it. I can already see it down here. It's Garfield, dude. Let's go. Let's fucking go. The man laughed viciously, clacking his fangs as he laughed, and putting his fists together, he lowered his stance, ready for battle. And in that posture, he looked up with a glare at his silent adversary. See, that's the thing. Even if he's not related directly to Frederica, he has to be a demi-human of the same race and breeding, just based on that construction alone. The man laughed. Alright, I read that. Meeting up with Garfield was the end of your luck. Now get wrecked, like a Pazzo Mazza right and left. The punk who named himself, cussing incomprehensibly, thumped his foot into the ground, and the moment after, the overwhelming impact, as if reversing the world. Garfield is real though, dude. I was expecting like a middle-aged man that was just shady as all hell. But this Yankee construction, though, and I saw that Zara said Natsu's VA, but that's impossible for me to do because of the inherent discrepancy. I need an English construction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's impossible to inflect reading English dialogue in a way that mirrors a Japanese seiyuu. So realistically, that doesn't help me. Like, I need to find a voice for Garfield. This is the only other voice I want to do, or that I've really wanted to do since Lei, to be honest with you. Just because of this dialect that he has, but stop complaining about the fucking volume. I have no sympathy for any of you. I'm sorry. I love you guys, but I have no sympathy. Turn down your volume inherently. If you don't want to do it, don't use headphones. I don't know what to tell you. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen for years and years to come. So just prepare for it. It's par for the course. It's part of watching a video on my channel. Prepare to have your eardrums wrecked, okay? I'm not going to change the way I react to things. I'm not going to try and... Like, you really think it's possible? Let me ask you a sincere question. Do you really think it's possible, unless you're one of those fools that think that my reactions aren't genuine, but do you really think it's possible for me to check myself in the very moment that I'm reacting to something and be like, wait, no, I shouldn't raise my voice because people don't want to hear that? No, that's never ever going to happen. I'm telling you right now. He's beast! Hold on, let me zoom. Let me zoom. Look at that face too. Yeah, no, he definitely has to have like some stark and direct relationship with Frederica. I don't know if it's gonna be like familial. I don't know if it's gonna be like direct family. Some sort of younger brother. I feel like that'd be too simple and somewhat cliche. But I'm not paying for your hospital bills. I told you. You signed away. By watching the videos, you agree to everything that comes with it. It's contractual. Get the fuck out of here with that dislike. Salty as fuck, because I don't want to be like, oh, I'm so sorry for hurting your eardrums. I don't give a fuck. All I care about is Garfield right now. This design is fucking legendary, dude. That scar sets it off. Yeah, there has to be a direct relationship with Frederica. That's the only way I can see it happening. only way I can see it happening. Let me see this image. Ooh. Dope fan art, man. Dope fan art. Interesting, man. This is the exact opposite of what I pictured Garfield to be. And I'm so happy with the result, though. So fucking happy with the result. Alright. Garfield is the man. As long as... And even the stance, telling me that he lowered his stance. If it's not that direct relationship, then it has to be just that same race of demi-human. But I want it to be a direct relationship with Frederica. That would be amazing. He's on his straight punk Yankee status, going in like a lord, dude. I'm gonna come up with a Garfield voice for the next thing. Go down on it. Oh, there's more? Oh, that's savage. But see this. What's it? The battle damage though. I feel like I shouldn't. I'm gonna need to use Garfield for the thumbnail now. Tell you that much. As dope as Garfield is, Otto is my favorite part about this image right here. Definitely my favorite part about this image. Was not expecting to see Garfield this chapter. Overall, it was a great chapter. I love the dialogue. I love the dynamic. I cannot wait to see more of this character, flesh out his personality a little bit. But before we do chapter 7, I'm gonna work on a Garfield voice, and we'll test it out next chapter. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wrap things up here. Feels really nice to be back doing the live readings again. Please, if you guys enjoy it at all, smash that like button. Next stream, I want to say I'm gonna do it. I would like to say tomorrow. I could even potentially do it. The thing about it is, even though I want to read more, it does take a good amount of my energy to do these readings, especially having to read the entire dialogue. If I could just read it in my head, it would go that much faster, but since I can't, I want to say that the speed that I read when I have to read out loud versus reading in my head is literally like half. It takes half the time, you know, like it's 2 times faster and more efficient if I just read in my head. So it's very a little bit more taxing than just normal reading for me. But tomorrow or definitely not Wednesday because of Yuri on Ice, but tomorrow or Thursday will be. Can I even do Thursday? I don't know. But sometime this week I will make the event well in advance like we did for this one, so everybody knows when it's happening. But I'm thinking potentially tomorrow I'm gonna do the next read through and get into chapter 7. But I gotta spend some time practicing this Garfield voice. So anyway, thank you guys for coming through. I'm also definitely gonna do break time tomorrow because I do want to do them drunkenly, and since we have the drunken streams tomorrow, it kind of really aligns perfectly. So I'm gonna set up the break time streams. I think I'm just gonna do the first 3 episodes of break time tomorrow, and potentially chapter 7. But it just feels really nice to be back, dude. And hopefully we can catch up soon. Please no spoilers, because I've managed to avoid them this far, and I'm not trying to get spoiled now. But thank you guys for coming through. It's a lot of fun as always. I'm gonna do this working stream right now. Oh yeah, two other things I completely forgot. Completely forgot. So one, in case you didn't hear, it was actually Mitra that reminded me of this at the beginning of the stream. I've known about this for for a while now. I meant to make a video just telling people about it in general, in case they didn't know before, but I just never had time. But there's going to be ReZero and Konosuba, novel crossover that's coming out, and hopefully, and it's supposed to drop next week. Hopefully, we can get an OVA adaptation of that, because that will be amazing. And even if not, I at least want to see somebody pick it up and translate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody get their hands on it. translate it, because I definitely want to see what that's like, dude. It's gonna be fucking amazing, dude. Like, Dape and Asme actually coming together and writing something together is gonna be amazing. And speaking of Konosuba, Drunken Live reactions next season are gonna be glorious. I guarantee you, when I make this statement, and I don't think I'm joking, I think the Konosuba Drunken Live reactions next season are going to be the best Drunken Live reactions that have ever happened, period, between both my channel and Ku's channel. And to prepare for that, there's going to be a really fun drinking stream that we're going to be doing within the next couple weeks. More info coming on that soon. But what I did want to give you guys, I like recently made this playlist. It would be nice if you guys could go through, check it out if you haven't seen any of the old Konosuba content, just to get the playlist a little bit more looks, because I should have made this a long time ago. But is what it is. The playlist is up now. Everything for the future of Konosuba will be in there as well. So it's gonna be interesting. The interview with the authors, mangaka, and all that shit is on the 31st. As far as I know, we don't have a release date for that. Oh, I thought it was coming out on the 31st. It's just the interview. Even still, the fact that it's coming is enough for me. I just hope that I get to experience it is all, whenever the time comes, and whatever form that may be in. But thank you guys for coming through. I'm gonna end this here and get over to doing this working stream. I also got some other stuff I want to upload today, so I'll keep you guys posted on the next stream for this, and I'm gonna work on this Garfiel voice. Peace.